Hi everyone, this is Daisy and I hope you guys are doing good. So from my last video where I showed you guys my Finsbury setup, my functional setup, one of the most requested videos was a tutorial on how I did my dividers, and so that's why today we're starting on the computer screen because these are my dividers. So what I do is I'm gonna walk you through it, and then we're gonna do a blank one. So these are the ones that I already have made, but I'm gonna show you how I actually create from scratch. So let's go to, okay, so this right here is just it's just a text box. And so what I do is we're gonna add, let me add a new page so you guys can see how I do it. Insert new page. Okay, so this is what I do. I go to the text box and it's right here. So I am using Word Publishing. This is the one that I like to use the most because it has the little grid squares, and so I can see what it is that I'm putting on there, and I like to kind of align it according to the grid. So here's my text box. I'm going to insert a text box. Now here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it around to around the size that my planner insert should be. So I know that a pocket size insert is 3.25. So my width has to be 3.25 and my height has to be 4.75. So I have a little note here. So right there, roughly there. So here it goes. Okay, so now I have my box. Now what I do is I double click it and I make sure that my line color, that there's no fill, so make sure there's no fill there. And then I make my line kind of like a gray color. I like to go with gray because I don't like it to stand out too much. Let's see, I'm over here, sorry. I was doing it on the wrong place. So no fill. And then gray line. So there it goes. So you can see it very lightly. You can even go lighter than that, but that's pretty much the color gray that I do. Now, because you have to kind of account for the tab on the side. So depending on where you're going to make your tab, I usually do my tabs on the side, but if you wanted to do your tabs on the top, then the same rule applies that I'm going to tell you right now. So if you account for your side tab, this is the exact measurement of what the planner insert would be, 3.25 by 4.75. Now, if I want a side tab, what all I'm gonna do is, instead of making it the exact size, which is 3.25, I'm going to take it to 3.5. So I'm gonna add 0.25, a little bit more. So just slightly more to add to the side tab. It's not gonna be too big and it's not going to be too small. It's just the right size for me. So you can add a little bit more depending on what size tab you want, how thick you want it, whether you're using a pocket size, whether you're using a personal size. So it doesn't matter if it's personal or if it's pocket, you just go by the measurement of your insert and you just add a little bit extra. So if you were doing it on the top, you would just add a little bit extra on the top to give you your top tab. Since I'm doing a side tab, I just add it to the right side. And then, so we have that out of the way. Now I'm going to file from my Clipart. So I'm going to do insert. So now I'm going to do insert. So it's where it says insert on the top. And I'm going to insert a photo from picture from file. So now I'm going to wait for this to come out. Okay. So in here, I'm gonna look for, in my files, I know that it's on my desktop. I have a special folder on my desktop for planner goodies and everything planner related that I have. So I know that I have a special folder called Clipart, and I recommend that. Anytime you want to use a Clipart for something, just have it all in one folder so it's easy to find. So here I have my ELLE P Studio Girls. So I'm going to just pick a random one for the sake of this. Let's see. Okay, let's say this one. I already used it, but I can do that. Okay, So now you have your clip art. Now here is the trick to this. So it's gonna give it to you in a huge size, and what you're gonna do is you're going to resize it. So you're going to make it smaller, and what I like to do is I pretty much align it to the box that I just made and make sure that it's kind of not too big, not too small. And then if I have to make it a little bit bigger, then I do, and then maybe I will. So I like to put shift, I like to press shift while I'm resizing it, because that way it doesn't distortion the, I don't know, I feel like it doesn't corrupt the image. And whereas if I don't hold the shift, I feel like the image gets a little bit blurred. So I like to press the shift, and maybe it's just on this because it's a word publishing, but it was a little trick somebody taught me a while back. So I'm gonna resize it about this much. I don't want it that big. So now I'm going to double click. Now that I resized it to the size that I want, I'm going to double click. And on the very top, for on the options for clip art, if you double click, they'll give you will see an option where it says position. I usually go to where it says more layouts. You have to find the one that says in front of text. So in front of text will let you move it around, and it won't send it to the back. It won't kind of throw off your document. That's usually what I do. Anytime I insert clip art into a document or dividers or whatever it is, I always make sure that I select in front of text, because it makes it easier for me to move it around as I please. So now don't worry about the lines around the clip art, because that's not going to come out. So now I'm going to align it. Now I also have to consider that I'm going to have a little tab here, so I don't want to put it too close to the edge or too close to the left side, because then the holes will punch into it. So somewhere in the middle, a little bit, so slightly to the left but not too much, because the tab is going to go somewhere around here. So once I cut out the tab, then part of this is going to come off, so it'll actually end up being like around this size, and then this size here. And then this is the space that I'm allowing for the holes. So once I do that, then that's how I have my divider. And that's pretty much how I make them. I make them all the same way. I insert again, so we'll do it one more time just to show you, but this time I'll do it fast. So I'm going to insert the text box, and 3.5 by 4.75. Then I'm going to insert the picture. Let's see, desktop, and our goodies, clip art, let's see, ELLE dolls. Let's do this one for the sake of that. So remember what I said about double clicking, making sure that the position of the clip art is always in front of text. And then I'm going to press shift and resize to the size that I want. And then I know that my box is over here, so I'm gonna make sure that I click it, and I'm gonna do the line, because I forgot to make the line gray so that we could see it. There it goes. Okay, so now I'm going to move the clip art in the middle, and it's also, the tab's gonna be on the right, so I'm gonna put it somewhere here. And it might be a little too big, so I'm gonna resize a little bit more. And there it goes, somewhere around here. No, a little bit to the left. Okay, there it goes. So that's pretty much how I do my dividers. Let me move this to the side so you could see it. Okay, there it goes. So that's pretty much what I do. And so what I do is I print it on Vellum. I purchased a package on Vellum. So now I'm gonna switch the screen. So now you're not gonna see my computer screen anymore. I'm going to show you the Vellum and the Avery labels that I use to make my dividers. Okay, so let me turn this around and take you to my table so I can show you. Okay, so we're back here. So this is the Vellum that I purchased. I purchased this on Amazon, And the brand is the Strathmore Laser Translucent Vellum. When you print on this vellum, it's pretty easy to print. I have the HP Envy 5660, but it doesn't matter what type of model you have. This is for laser, so pretty much you can use any printer that is laser. They have the inkjet version also, so depends on what type of printer you have. Make sure you get the right one, because you don't want to buy a package and then have to resend it because it's the wrong one. So this is the laser translucent vellum. Now when you print, this is what it comes out like. You guys have seen my dividers, and so this is what it comes out like. This is the material that it feels. It feels kind of like very like, I don't know, it has this feel to it, kind of like that fancy invitation, you know, that you know, those invitations that you get for weddings and stuff like that. Well, it's the same feel. That's what the vellum is. And so this one, when I was printing out my dividers, I accidentally printed this one twice. I don't know why, but this is perfect because now I can show you, print it, what it looks like. So I didn't print the other ones that I showed you with, but if I did, this is what it would look like. It would come out. So I trimmed it around the squares, pretty much around the, I mean, not around the squares, around the line that I made. And you can see that the gray line is it's pretty light. It's not that thick, the color. So I could actually go lighter if I wanted to, but I like this color. And once you laminate it, you can't really tell. So this is my vellum. What I do after I print them and I cut them out, so I don't cut exactly on the line yet. What I do is I just cut around it to leave a little space, and I take my dividers. So I just have those Filofax. When I bought the Finsbury, it came with a set of dividers. I purchased it from eBay, so she sent me these. But it's pretty much the same size as all the dividers that Filofax has in their pocket. I believe they're pretty much the same. These might be, oh, these might be longer. Okay, so anyways, if you have a set of dividers, you can use this as an outline, and this is what I do. So I pretty much line it up here, and you'll see it's lined up against the line. And all I do is I take a pencil. So let me get a pencil. Okay, so I take a pencil, and then all I do is I pretty much trace where I'm going to cut around. So I make a line, and I just kind of like trace around the divider, and that's it. So now you'll see exactly where my line is, and that is where I'm going to cut. So I will take my scissors and I will cut around there. Now, the scissors, you can use any scissors, but let me tell you that I swear by these scissors. I purchased 2 of these just so I can have an extra one. I carry one in my planner supply bag, and then this one I leave it at home. This one is the ELLE Tools, and it's really pointy and really thin from the top. So when it comes to cutting your tabs, this is perfect. If you use a regular rounded tip ones, kind of like just the regular scissors, it makes it really hard to cut. That's why I like using these really pointy, thin scissors for cutting dividers, and you'll see. So now I'm going to cut around, and I'm going to cut exactly on the line that I drew. And I'm only going to cut this part with the scissors. The other part I will cut with a paper cutter. I just want to cut the most difficult part with my scissors. So the rest of it you can actually cut with a paper cutter, but the tab part I usually use these scissors so I can cut with precision, that it's as close to perfect as it can possibly be. Okay, so now I cut around here, and I'm going to use my paper cutter. So this is something you'll need. You actually don't need it, but it makes it easier. So now I'm gonna just check where the line is at. And I'm gonna line it up, make sure that I'm exactly on that line. And I'm going to go to the other side and just line it up exactly where it should be. Not too like. And as you can see, like the vellum is really easy to cut. It's not thick or anything. It'll thicken out once you laminate it. And there it goes. So that is how I made my dividers. Now, sometimes you see a little bit of residue with the pencil marks, and I pretty much, all I do is just kind of like go around it and like really softly just kind of erase the marks with the eraser. And that's it. That's all I do. Yeah, there it goes. So that's pretty much it. This is how I make my dividers. Now for the label part of my dividers, what I do is I like to buy the, I think it's the 80 count. So it's the Avery. I don't know exactly what number it is. So with Avery, sometimes they change the numbers, but just know that it's the clear 80 count mailing label. That's what it is. Now this is the number. Let me zoom in. 15667 Avery clear 80 count mailing labels. They might have a different number, but if you Google that, they'll give you like the same label, or it'll give you the same label with a different number. But just put, if for some reason this doesn't come out, just type in 80 count clear Avery labels, and it'll give it to you. So this is what I like to use for my labels. What I do is I just use whatever kind of font I have on my computer. So let me show you once it's typed. Whatever kind of font I have. So I just happen to use this font right here, which I'm not sure what it's called, but I had it on my computer. So I use this one, and I can pull it off so you guys can see. So once you pull it off, this is what it looks like. This one is, I don't need these three right here, so this is what it looks like. So what I do is I pretty much just cut. I use my scissors and I kind of trim around it. And I cut a little bit from the top. And then I cut a little bit from the bottom. So I try to make it as small as possible. And then I add it to my divider that I made. So let me stick it right here. And once I put it there, I might realize that I need to trim it a little bit more around it, like right here. So I might have put it a little bit crooked, but you get the point. So I just, like here, it's a little bit too long. And that's pretty much it. But, so I put it crooked, yeah, of course. But I'm not gonna laminate this since I already have it. But this is what it looks like. And then you laminate it, you punch the holes, and it's good to go. So this is how I make my divider. So the final product will look like this, whatever I have in my dividers. So once it's laminated, then it becomes a little bit thicker. And the one that I have that's similar to that one is, let me see, I'm gonna show you what the actual, okay, so here it goes. So this is the exact same design that I used to show you how. And you can see the glare because of it's laminated. So once it's laminated, it becomes a little bit thicker, not too much because it's vellum, which I like. It doesn't add bulk to the planner, but this is what it'll look like once you laminate it and you put it into your planner. So I hope this video was helpful, and I hope that you were able to learn how to make your own divider. You can make your own dividers for any size planner if you just follow the same steps that I did. If you have any questions, you can just leave the comments in the video and I will answer them as best as I can. You can also follow me on Instagram and then just DM me, direct message me, and I will help you as much as I can, okay? I'll see you guys. Have a good day. Bye-bye.